Why don't you tell me who you are?
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Well,
Thanks so much for
Andre.
inviting me to this opportunity to have a fireside chat about real estate.
Yeah.
I appreciate you inviting me to that. So, in a nutshell, it's been 43 years in the business. I'm actually third generation in the business. My grandfather, my parents, some of my siblings have been into it.
Mhm.
And it's the last thing I thought I'd do after going through university. I thought, no, I'm not gonna be, doing what my parents are doing. But within 6 months, there I was.
Mhm.
So I mean, when you have 43 years, it may look like I did a lot of changes, but they were kind of normal sequence of changes. So started Royal Trust in '78. Went to Calgary for 3 years, also with Royal Trust. Came back to Ottawa to join. I was one of the first ones in the city to join Remax because it was innovative and the market disruptor, and it was quite exciting to be part of that. Then I was invited to manage a Remax office and actually open one, so I was given the whole responsibility of finding a site, negotiating the leases, designing the floor plans, and I built it up to, at the time, which was very large, 40 agents. And then I had an opportunity to get a green card and ended up in San Diego. I bought my own Remax franchise there. I was in San Diego almost 5 years. And so that was the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Market went for a bit of a tumble there. So I sold that and came to Ottawa and launched Sutton Group. And that was very successful. I built it up to, I believe, over 50 agents. And I was very pleased how that ran. It ran pretty smoothly. Then got out of that and I was actually managing the office where I met you, the largest Royal LePage office in Ottawa.
Mhm.
Got lured out of there to be back in commercial real estate, which I used to do a lot of, with one of the best Royal LePage people in Ottawa. His name was Gord Taylor. Had quite a reputation and an expertise in land, commercial land, land assemblies and development land. So I learned a lot through him, but unfortunately he passed away shortly after we joined forces in '04. Then because of the MBA, I got recruited into I got headhunted to manage the Canadian Medical Association division
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
that helped physicians across the country develop their clinics and negotiate leases. I had a team, including Eric Van Hofwegen, that was with me, who was a great guy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And what did I do after that? They had an adjustment of fortunes in sorts where they had 17 business lines. They shrank it to three, of which mine wasn't one. I got headhunted again through the MBA to help the city of Ottawa as a negotiator for the real estate related to the LRT. And that was 6 years. That was quite lucrative and fun. It was quite a project. And then I said, I miss doing what I used to do years ago, and I just got back into sales, and I've been loving it. And I have changed companies with one that allows me to have share ownership and other income streams, and I'm loving it immensely. So that's my story in a nutshell. And in the interim, I have a wife and three daughters and a dog. That's
And
my
you're
story.
looking
How
for
about
us.
your story?
Yeah. Well, my story is a little different, but we did meet in, I guess, '02 is when I started
Yeah.
as a realtor. Is that right? Yeah. Um, and previous to that, I was at Nortel in Turkey, well, Ottawa, and then in Istanbul, Turkey, and then in southern Germany.
Wow.
I came back here.
What
And
was your expertise at Nortel?
I have a computer systems engineering background, but they just hired every engineer they could in the mid '90s. So it didn't matter if you had a mechanical engineering background, they'd find you a job. So,
Yeah, that must have been exciting.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I enjoy what I do, but I actually probably didn't really enjoy what I was doing in those jobs, but the travel was great. But it's funny, you mentioned San Diego, and I've been asked before where I would live if I could just live anywhere. And I've never been to San Diego,
Mhm.
but that's my answer. just based on things I've heard. You know, I've been to Northern California and all along the West Coast and all over the States, and certainly lived in Europe and well, Turkey, which is part of Asia. But
Turkey must have been an adventure.
yeah, that was an adventure. That taught me, well, how to adjust and how to change and how to, you know, roll with it, I guess, at times. Sorry, I'm shaking my table. I'm at a standing desk. I don't know if my camera's going like this, but
It's pretty stable.
yeah. So I'm coming up on 18 years in June or July, and I always forget.
Wow.
And 8 years, I opened my brokerage 8 years ago, and we worked together, obviously, for a few years at when I first started. Page. And you didn't say your brokerage now. You don't want to name your brokerage?
Oh no, I'm with EXP. It's a new business concept, which has done very well. When I joined, we were, I think, 6,800 agents, and we're now 47,000 in just 2 years and a half. Wow. So it's growing by leaps and bounds. Its stock valuation on NASDAQ has done very well. And so, you know, I'm not here to promote EXP, but if anyone wanted to know more about it, I'd be happy to share the details of it. Having been in many different business models, having tried to develop my own at one point, I'm just fascinated by it.
We're seeing a crazy market now, Andre. You've seen a lot of crazy markets in some crazy places. I don't know how crazy the San Diego market is. I'm guessing you saw some ups and downs, and you mentioned Calgary as well, which certainly has had ups and downs.
Yeah.
Do you see anything reminiscent here? Are we at the same level as some of the changes you've seen at some places over time?
That's a good question, Dan.